We are on which verse? Sujata Mataji, आपको याद है? Last time you were not there, but right?
Yeah, Hare Krishna.
2.47 Mataji. 46 was over.
46 is done.
47.
Okay.
2.4.
We are on which verse? Sujata Mataji, आपको याद है?
2.47.
Last time you were.
We finished 2.46 last time. So today we have to start from 2.47.
Yeah. Okay, let's start with the invocation prayer. Om Jnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namah. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupah Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yutapadakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Harijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Deva Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvatamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Eva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Jayapataga Swami Niti Namine Namo Acharyapadaya Tai Kripa Padayane Gaur Katha Dhamadaya Nagar Gramatadane Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langhayate Girim Yat Kripatamaham Vande Shri Gurum Deenataranam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram Hari Om Tat Sat. Okay, Hare Krishna. So yeah, we were on 46th, right?
We completed 46th, Mataji. You have to start 47.
Okay, all right. We will just have a quick recap of all the verses. We will just read the translations. I will just revise what we did in the first chapter, and now we are on the second chapter. Second chapter is also known as Contents of the Gita Summarized, meaning it is the summary of the entire Bhagavad Gita, actually, the second chapter. Yet we are going to do, in detail each chapter also, like third chapter, fourth chapter talks about Karma Yoga, then Ashtanga Yoga or Jnana Yoga, and then Bhakti Yoga. So that is also explained later on in each chapter. But second chapter जो है वो पूरे गीता का समरी है. Second chapter में सारे योगा सिस्टम के बारे में भी भगवान ने अर्जुन से बताया. So first chapter is about the beginning of this Kurukshetra war, where they have both the parties, they have come together in Kurukshetra, and they are the war is about to begin. और धृतराज जो है संजय से पूछते हैं कि what is happening there. So although Sanjay is sitting with Dhritarashtra with him, yet Sanjay has got a divine vision. और ये divine vision उन्हें कहाँ से मिला? Who is the guru of Sanjay?
Vyasji, Mataji?
हाँ, Vyasdev. So Sanjay's guru is Srila Vyasdev, and by the mercy of his guru, he has that ability, he has that divine vision, because of which even though वो दूर हैं, जो war कहीं और हो रहा है, कुरुक्षेत्र में हो रहा है, वो कहीं और पे बैठे हैं, but he is able to see whatever is happening there. So Sanjay जो है वो धृतराष्ट्र को सब कुछ बता रहे हैं कि what all is happening, and then he narrates कि वहां पे क्या हो रहा है. So what was happening was Duryodhan जो है, when he saw the army of Arjun, he first Duryodhan, how we can see that what is his nature? He is very very political minded, typical materialistic person जैसा होता है ना, वो सारे qualities दुर्योधन में है. He is very selfish, very proud of himself, very lusty, very greedy, and he doesn't mind doing any kind of sin just so that उसका जो selfish desire है वो पूरा हो जाए. He doesn't mind doing any wrong to anybody. So he is that kind of a person. Doesn't believe in God. He is only religious for the name's sake, just so that some good happened to him. So he is religious, but as such he doesn't believe in God. So all these are the characteristics which we see in today's time in majority of the people, right? So that Duryodhan represents that. And he because he's very political minded, he's very diplomatic. वो नहीं चाहते हैं कि जो भीष्म पितामह है और जो उनके जो गुरु हैं, what is the name of his guru?
द्रोणाचार्य.
Dronacharya, yeah. Dronacharya and then Kripacharya. ये लोग, because they are the gurus of even the Pandavas, तो दुर्योधन नहीं चाहता था कि ये लोग कहीं पर भी उनको फेवर करें, because he was very scared that although they are fighting on my behalf, but they may favor the Pandavas and they may not fight to their best. तो वो सबके पास जाता है individually, सबको praise करता है, flatter करता है, so that when you flatter somebody they become very happy, so they might favor me. That kind of mentality Duryodhan has, and individually सबके पास जाता है, सबको praise करता है और सबको वो सबके अंदर वो गुस्सा भी वो जागृत करता है. How does he do that? वो गलतियां जो पांडव लोगों ने उनके अगेंस्ट जो गलतियां की थी वो उनको याद दिलाता है, ताकि उनके अंदर गुस्सा आए और वो फाइट करे उनके अगेंस्ट. सो ऑल दीज मेथड्स दुर्योधन इज ट्राइंग टू इंस्टिल, सो दैट ऑल जितने भी लोग हैं उसके पार्टी में जो फाइट कर रहे हैं उसके साइड से, दे ऑल गिव देयर बेस्ट. एंड देन पांडवास के साइड से हु इज देयर? All the Pandavas and the 7 Akshauhini Sena is there, and then above all Lord Krishna is there with them. और फिर जब भगवान कृष्ण ने अपना पांचजन्य शंख बजाया, अर्जुन ने बजाया, and at that time the दुर्योधन कौरवा side जो पार्टी है, their confidence, their faith, they all shattered. मतलब why? Because Lord Krishna is divine. He is the supreme personality of Godhead. He's a supreme spiritual person, okay, and supreme person, and along with him the Arjun and all the Pandavas, they are also not ordinary souls like us. ये जो 5 पांडव हैं वो किन के पुत्र हैं? किसी को याद है? युधिष्ठिर किन के पुत्र हैं?
धर्मराज, sorry, Yama.
Yes, he is also known as Dharmaraj. So he is the son of Yamaraj or Dharmaraj. Then Bhim
is Vayuputra.
Vayudev, right? And Arjun
Indradev.
इंद्रदेव के पुत्र हैं. और नकुल सहदेव Ashwini Kumaras. Ashwini Kumaras are twin brothers. They are the physicians of the heavenly planet. Demigods के physicians हैं वो, और वो twin brothers हैं. तो इसीलिए जब उनसे जो born हुए वो नकुल सहदेव, they were twin brothers, right? So all these 5 Pandavas, they are not ordinary souls like us. They are great personalities. And Lord Krishna, who is a supreme greatest personality, right? They are all together here on the other side. तो जब उन्होंने अपना शंख बजाया तो naturally सबका जो heart है वो एकदम shatter हो गया. Their confidence shattered. Then Arjun asks Krishna to take his chariot. Krishna has become the chariot driver of Arjun. तो इसके पहले भी वो स्टोरी है जब अर्जुन और दुर्योधन दोनों जाते हैं कृष्ण के पास हेल्प मांगने के लिए. तो अर्जुन जो है भगवान उस समय लेटे होते हैं. He is sleeping. He is taking rest. अर्जुन के उनके चरणों के यहाँ बैठते हैं और दुर्योधन कहाँ बैठता है?
सर के पास.
सर के पास.
सर के बाजू. Why उसके अंदर घमंड है ना, प्राइड है, घमंड है. तो वो नीचे पहले तो नहीं बैठना चाहता है, और भगवान के चरणों में क्यों बैठेगा? वो भगवान के एकदम साइड में बैठा, सर के बाजू में. So when Krishna woke up, सबसे पहले उनका नजर कहाँ पे, जब हम उठते हैं तो सामने ही जाता है नजर, राइट? तो उनका नजर सामने गया और देखे कि अर्जुन जो है उनके चरणों के यहाँ बैठा हुआ है। और तो उन्होंने वो उठ के अर्जुन से पूछे कि अर्जुन तुम यहाँ पे क्यों आए हो, क्या क्या कारण है? एंड देन ही जस्ट लुक्ड अराउंड, ही सॉ दुर्योधन सिटिंग बाय हिज साइड। सो अरे दुर्योधन तुम भी आए हो, दैट मीन्स देयर इज समथिंग वेरी सीरियस। तो दोनों का क्या कारण है यहाँ पे आने का? So then they both say that abhi war is inevitable and we need your help. So then Krishna says that okay, I have Narayani Sena with me, which is very very strong, very powerful, and I have myself. Okay, लेकिन मैं इस war में कुछ नहीं करने वाला हूँ. I'm not going to fight first of all. So now you have a choice. और ये choice मैं पहले अर्जुन को दूंगा because मेरी नजर पहले अर्जुन पे पड़ी. So I will give this choice first to Arjun. What do you want? Do you want me or do you want my Narayani Sena? So Arjun, naturally being a devotee, being a very intelligent person, what did he choose? Krishna.
Shri
Okay.
Krishna.
We can ask ourselves a question. हमने क्या choose किया होता अगर हम होते तो? What would we have chosen? Each of us.
Mataji, if you know that Shri Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead, obviously you would have chosen him only.
माता जी अगर आज पूछा जाए तो हम भी कृष्णा को ही चूज करेंगे।
हाँ माता जी, दुर्योधन को नहीं पता था ना कि वो भगवान है ऐसा, तो
पता नहीं था ऐसा नहीं है, उसको तो सब लोग बोलते थे ना, भीष्म पितामह विदुर, बचपन से उसको भी बोला जाता था, पर उसने विश्वास नहीं किया।
But that Maya का
Yes.
जाल around him.
So इसलिए उसने चूज नहीं किया, मतलब एनीवे उसको चॉइस मिला भी नहीं था, पर वो विश्वास भी नहीं करता था कि कृष्णा इज द सुप्रीम पर्सनैलिटी। वो सिर्फ उसको ऐसा लगता था कृष्णा है, बहुत पावरफुल है, कोई योगी वगैरह होंगे, बट ही इज नॉट गॉड, ऐसा उसको लगता था। So yes, when we know that Krishna is the supreme, obviously we would also have chosen Krishna. But the problem is with Duryodhan was, even though he was told, he never believed. So wo hame we have to check, with ourselves that do we believe in Krishna really? Do we completely believe in him? Do we have faith in him? Or it's half-hearted understanding that Krishna is the supreme. So yes, basically the entire Bhagavad Gita is about that only, to know who is Krishna, to know who is God. And Arjun knew this. Arjun completely knew that Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead. He is the best friend. He is the controller, supreme controller, everything. So naturally he chose Krishna. So Duryodhan was, on the other hand, he was thinking how foolish is Arjun. He was laughing. और वो खुश भी हो रहा था। पहले तो डर रहा था कि कहीं अर्जुन नारायणी सेना ना मांग ले, लेकिन फिर जब वो खुश हो गया कि वो बेवकूफ है, वो तो कृष्ण को चूज कर लिया जो फाइट भी नहीं करने वाले हैं। So in one way he was very happy, and this is what happens even with the materialistic people, right? We tend to gauge our strength by material things. अगर हमारे पास बहुत सारे material चीजें हैं तो हमें लगता है we are good enough, we are safe, we are secure, we are powerful. But that is not our actual wealth. Our actual wealth is how much we are connected with the Supreme, how much we are connected within ourselves with the Supreme. That is our real wealth.
माता जी वैसे तो हम भी काफी दुर्योधन के जैसे ही है, पता है कि कृष्णा है, फिर भी हम काफी टाइम उनको नहीं चूज करते हैं। हम एंगर चूज करते हैं, रेजिस्टेंस चूज करते हैं,
हमेशा चूज करेंगे।
हाँ, हमको पता है
tendency to hold on to something material or external, outer, matlab we are trying to find something in the material world, some relief or some happiness, pleasure, everything in the material world. But of course the journey has begun, so we are learning, but yes, this is what exactly Bhagavad Gita is going to teach us, how to go within, how to find your real happiness within. So yeah, so anyways Arjuna chose Krishna because he knew he was very intelligent, and Duryodhan got the Narayani Sena. So Duryodhan का comparison अगर हम करेंगे अर्जुन के साथ, पांडवों के साथ, तो he had 11 Akshauhini senas of soldiers. So a material point of view say he was very powerful, much more powerful than Pandavas. But our success depends on not only on the material calculation, but also on the blessings, on how much mercy we have of the Supreme Lord, how much blessings we have, how much good credits we have in our life, right? We often overlook these things, right? बच्चों को भी of course इसीलिए हम स्कूल में क्यों moral science सिखाते हैं बच्चों को, because these are very very necessary, very important. If you remember, even with the beginning, when the war began, what did Yudhishthir do? He immediately first got down from his chariot और वो भीष्म पितामह को जाके प्रणाम करके आए, द्रोणाचार्य को प्रणाम करके आए, कृपाचार्य को प्रणाम करके आए. उन लोगों ने क्या आशीर्वाद दिया? Naturally, when we go down to our elders, they give us some blessings. और उन्होंने युधिष्ठिर को आशीर्वाद दिया कि विजयी भव, विजयी भव. तो पहले ही आशीर्वाद दे दिया कि you win, you win, you win. So that means they are ready to lose the battle, right? So these are some secrets of life which you tend to overlook. These blessings are very very powerful. Blessings from our elders, blessings from our gurus, blessings from the Supreme Lord himself. Because without him, we cannot get success in any sphere of life, whether material, spiritual. We cannot get success unless we have that blessings and mercy and full, merciful glance of the Supreme Lord with us. So this secret, the Pandavas knew. उनको पूरी तरह से मालूम था ये सारा secret, and they used to live by that, by their own example. So yes, the war began, and then Krishna he decided to become the driver of Arjun. And when the day came, Arjun was right in the middle, and he asked Krishna, "Please take me in the middle of the battlefield. मुझे देखना है कौन कौन जो लड़ने के लिए आ गए हैं." Because actually Arjun doesn't want to fight, because he's a very nice, kind-hearted, noble person. He's very very devoted, and so naturally जब हम devotional होते हैं, spiritual होते हैं, तो we don't want to commit any violence, we don't want to harm anybody. ये need natural qualities होते हैं जो भी spiritually inclined होते हैं, जो spiritual values जिनके अंदर होती है. So Arjun also doesn't want to do all this. He doesn't want to kill anybody. He doesn't want to do any harm. So he is asking Krishna कि let me see who all have come to fight, और वो क्यों अपना जान देना चाहते हैं. और जब वो middle में लेकर गए भगवान उनको, तो Arjun is completely bewildered when he saw the huge army on Duryodhan's side. He realized so many people are going to be killed. Not just his side. He saw even his side of the party. तो पूरे field को वो center में खड़े होकर देख रहे हैं. And he's thinking, my God, so many people are going to lose their life just because we are fighting for a kingdom. Just for a kingdom, we are fighting here, and so many people are going to lose their lives. And then he starts giving excuses to Krishna why he doesn't want to fight. Now यहाँ पर Arjun जो है escape करने की कोशिश कर रहे थे. He tells Krishna, it's better I leave the battle and I go to Himalayas. Let me go there. I don't want any kingdom. I will just spend my life like a sage, like a sadhu. Because anyways 14 years वो लोग वनवास में जाकर आए थे, तो he was used to living that lifestyle. So now he doesn't want anything, but he's forced to fight. So this is also a learning for us. When difficulties come in our lives, what do? जब ऐसे situation आ जाता है, कोई difficult situation आ जाता है, we don't expect, we don't want such thing. What is our tendency? General human tendency is to run away from the problem, right? We leave the problem, we run away from the problem. But in Bhagwadgita, Lord Krishna teaches us to learn from the problem. We don't have to leave the problem or run away from the problem. We have to learn from the problem. हर एक जो difficulties हमारे life में आती है, वो एक reason के वजह से आती है. There is a big reason behind everything that happens in our life. Even problems come for a reason. And actually अगर problems को हम ऐसा देखेंगे कि we actually have the courage and we take the right thought and right we approach right people for discussing our problems or finding the solution to our problems, then we can actually grow through that problem. We don't go through the problem, but we grow through the problems. So that is how every problems in our life teaches us a lot. और अगर हम वो सीखने के लिए तैयार हैं, then it will help us to grow spiritually actually. It will make us more stronger. It will give us more enlightenment, more insights. So Bhagavad Gita, basically the first chapter teaches us that we should not run away from the problems, but we should seek um, uh, for uh, for better understanding how, what am I supposed to learn from this, basically. कोई भी problem आता है, we should always ask ourselves, there is something for me to learn from this. There are two kinds of people. One kind of people, जब problem आएगी तो वो डर जाएंगे, anxious हो जाएंगे, उससे भाग जाएंगे. या दूसरे kind of people होते हैं जो उससे कुछ सीखेंगे. They will have courage, they will face, and they want to learn from the problem. And they will approach right people, they will approach the wise people, they will learn from it, they will make transformation in their own life. They will learn, and then aage wo log badhenge, and then they grow. So that is the first chapter. Then after Krishna heard that Arjun he's trying to escape because of these problems, he then starts speaking in the second chapter. So this is the second chapter that we are currently on. And isme bhi actually Arjun goes on giving excuses why he doesn't want to fight, and whatever excuses Arjun gives, actually it sounds very noble, right? वो ऐसा लगता है कि हाँ, अर्जुन is a very noble person, very spiritual person. वो सब कुछ सोच समझ के बोल रहा है कि क्यों इतना पाप करना, क्यों लोगों को मारना. तो हमें भी ऐसा ही लगेगा कि अर्जुन तो राइट था, he shouldn't, उसका जो डिसीजन था नहीं वॉर नहीं करना was the right decision. But why did Krishna ask him to fight still? So although Arjun on the material platform या morality के platform पे he must have been right, but he was overlooking the higher plan, the higher understanding. He was overlooking Krishna, कि Krishna का क्या plan है. And generally we also tend to do the same thing, right? Not knowing our real identity, not knowing who is God, we generally tend to take decision just based on what I like or what I dislike. मुझे क्या अच्छा लगता है, क्या नहीं अच्छा लगता है, या मैं कहाँ पे कंफर्टेबल हूँ, कहाँ पे क्या मुझे डिसकंफर्टेबल लगता है, उस हिसाब से हम डिसीजन लेते हैं. और अर्जुन भी उसी हिसाब से डिसीजन ले रहा है, right? Arjun, why doesn't he want to fight? Because he's feeling discomfort. He doesn't want to fight because he doesn't like to kill. उसको कोई पाप नहीं करना है, उसको कुछ किसी को मारना नहीं है. तो so his decision is centered on himself, right? कि मुझे उसे क्या अच्छा लग रहा है, क्या नहीं अच्छा लग रहा है. But Krishna gives him a bigger picture that beyond you, Arjun, you need to understand your real identity, first of all, who you are and who is God, and how this creation has come into existence, what is the purpose behind the creation, और वो जो supreme person है उनका क्या, what is his plan, because behind everything, the whole material world, the whole material creation is created by a person. किसी एक person ने बनाया है उसे, और उन्हीं के direction में सब कुछ चल रहा है. तो जो कुछ भी हो रहा है, it is being guided by a superior authority. तो हमें वो जानना बहुत जरूरी है. जो भी हम डिसीजन लेते हैं अपने लाइफ में या प्रॉब्लम्स आते हैं हमारी लाइफ में, we have to see it with a bigger picture, not with just कि ये क्यों हो रहा है मेरे लाइफ में. We have to see with a bigger picture, with a broader vision, basically. और वो broader vision कब आएगा? जब हमें वो understanding होगा कि who am I actually, when we see our life in a broader vision, not just with कि only this lifetime actually. And that is why Krishna begins telling Arjuna with the first teaching that you are not the body but you are spirit soul. ये सबसे पहला instruction कृष्ण जी अर्जुन को देते हैं कि अर्जुन, you are not this body, you are spirit soul. So when we say you are not this body, you are spirit soul, उसका मतलब हमारा जितना भी identity या false ego या false identification है हमारा, वो सब कुछ वहीं पे crash हो जाता है, right? When I say I'm not the body, that means I'm not a female, that means I'm not Mamta, that means I'm not, जो भी मेरा designations है, जो भी मेरा identity है, वहीं पे खत्म हो जाता है, right? When I say I'm a spirit soul, that means I'm something different from what I generally think I am, right? So Krishna also begins with this only, that Arjun, first of all, you should know who you are, and then you decide what you want to do. Because that is what is a real, that is a reality and that will help you to take the right decisions and attain the goal of your life, basically. So if we do not have a broader vision, if we do not know what is the goal of our life, then we remain confused. तब हम confused रहते हैं, या anxiety होती है, हमें fear होता है. ये सब क्यों होता है? क्योंकि अगर हमें मालूम ही नहीं है कि हम कौन है और हमारे जीवन का लक्ष्य क्या है, then only these problems come. Otherwise, when we know very well who am I, why do I exist, what is the purpose of my existence, what is the goal of my life, अगर ये सारे questions का answer हमारे पास है, then only we can go through all ups and downs in our life very easily. Otherwise वही ups and downs हमें जो है एकदम bewilder कर देते हैं, या confuse कर देते हैं, या हम depression में चले जाते हैं, या कुछ गलत काम कर बैठते हैं. So we should have the answer. We should know the answer to these questions, real questions. Who am I? Why do I exist? Who is God? What is my relationship with God? और ये second chapter में Arjun asks all these questions to Krishna, and Krishna answers all this. He begins with the answer that you are not the body, but you are spirit soul. So generally in the material world, we are told to act first, ask later. Enjoy करो, जो करना है करो, बाद में प्रॉब्लम हुआ तो देखा जाएगा. We generally have this tendency in the material world कि you do whatever you like, then we'll see, देखा जाएगा. But once we have the problem in our life, there is no fix, there is no material solution to any of our material problem. Right? So before we get into the problem, we should know the facts of life. Right? Because many people, they don't know the law of karma. They are just doing whatever they like. But we are all bound by the law of karma. और जब problems आते हैं, हम question करते हैं, क्यों मेरे साथ ऐसा हो रहा है? भगवान ने ऐसा क्यों किया? We blame God, or we blame some other person. We blame our own destiny. But we don't blame ourselves. कि ये तो मैंने ही किया है, कुछ मैंने ही गलत किया है जिसके वजह से ये हो रहा है. Right? So we don't take that responsibility. Why? Because we are not aware of law of karma. We are not aware of right and wrong. We are not aware of the creator who has created the whole creation and how he has made the law. So because of that, we just end up just doing whatever we like, anything and everything. And then we ask later, why? But Bhagwadgita teaches us, you ask first and then act. Are you getting it? Krishna is teaching us, pehle tum question pucho, pehle samjho. So this Bhagwadgita should be taught in the childhood, right from childhood. Children also should know from the beginning, we should know what kind of action should be performed, what is the goal of my life, और वहां तक पहुंचने के लिए मुझे क्या करना है, क्या सही है, क्या गलत है, कैसे कर्म करने चाहिए, what is karma, what is akarma, what is vikarma, who is God, because there's now children, when they grow up, they generally become confused, who is God, so many gods. So all this knowledge has to be given from the beginning. Ask first, act later. जब हमें हमारे सारे questions के answers सही तरीके से मिल जाएंगे, naturally we will act accordingly. So we should have these spiritual questions, we should get answers to them, and based on that knowledge we should act. So this is what in short the second chapter is all about. So now we'll continue from 46th.
Mataji,
Yeah.
one small clarification. This shlokam, na, mukam karoti vachalam, is this one of the shlokas in Gita, or is it? It
is not from Bhagavad Gita, but some Purana, and iska meaning mukam karoti vachalam pangum langhe. I'll find out which Purana, which scripture is it from, but it only
I was
means.
thinking,
You know the meaning of this?
I kind of know, but then and I was thinking that it is part of Bhagavad Gita. So I wanted to know which chapter and which where does it come?
No, it's not from Bhagavad Gita.
Okay.
Yeah, this is actually a glorification of the Guru and a disciple surrendering to the Guru. So mukam karoti vachalam pangum langhayate girim. It means that by a guru's grace or mercy, even a lame person can walk, or a dumb person can speak. So actually we don't have much any knowledge. We are all insignificant souls. But by the grace of Guru, we can speak something. So, or understand Bhagavad Gita. So that is why we praise our Guru, or we pray to our Guru. So this verse speaks that. Just as Sanjay is able to see by the grace of his Guru. So Guru ka grace is very, very great. Okay, so okay, 1 second. Now we will just go through the translations. Text 1 से लेके ना हम लोग just एक read करते जाएंगे 1 hour. Just a quick revision हो जाएगा हम सबका. So Sujata Mataji, can you start with text 1? So like that we can just go on. Each of you can unmute and read the translations.
Mataji, do you want me to read the first 5 texts so that everybody can keep doing 5?
That is good. 5 text we can read each of us.
So text 1. Sanjaya said, seeing Arjuna full of compassion, his mind depressed, his eyes full of tears, Madhusudana, Krishna, spoke the following words. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, my dear Arjuna, how have these impurities come upon you? They are not at all befitting a man who knows the value of life. They lead not to higher planets, but to infamy. O son of Partha, do not yield to this degrading impotence. It does not become of you. Give up such petty weaknesses of heart and arise, O chastiser of the enemy. Arjuna said, O killer of enemies, O killer of Madhu, how can I counteract with arrows in the battle men like Bhishma and Drona, who are worthy of my worship? It would be better to live in this world by begging than to live at the cost of the lives of great souls who are my teachers. Even though desiring worldly gain, they are superiors. If they are killed, everything we enjoy will be tainted with blood. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Next 5.
Should I read, Mataji?
Yeah.
Nor do we know which is better, conquering them or being conquered by them. If we killed the sons of Dhritarashtra, we should not care to live. Yet they are now standing before us on the battlefield. Now I am confused about my duty and have lost all composure because of miserly weakness. In this condition, I am asking you to tell me for certain what is best for me. Now I am your disciple and a soul surrendered unto you. Please instruct me. I can find no means to drive away this grief which is drying up my senses. I will not be able to dispel it even if I win a prosperous, unrivaled kingdom on earth with sovereignty like the demigods in heaven. Sanjaya said, having spoken thus, Arjun, chastiser of enemies, told Krishna, Govinda, I shall not fight, and fell silent. O descendant of Bharat, at that time Krishna, smiling in the midst of both the armies, spoke the following words to the grief-stricken Arjun. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Madam. Sita Lakshmi Mataji, you want to read?
Yes, Mataji. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said while speaking learned words, you are mourning for what is not worthy of grief. Those who are wise lament neither for the living nor for the dead. Never was there a time when I did not exist, nor you, nor all these kings, nor in the future shall any of us cease to be. As the embodied soul continuously passes in this body from boyhood to youth to old age, the soul similarly passes into another body at death. A sober person is not bewildered by such a change. O son of Kunti, the non-permanent appearance of happiness and distress and their disappearance in due course are like the appearance and disappearance of winter and summer seasons. They arise from sense perception, O son of Bharata, and one must learn to tolerate them without being disturbed.
One minute. Sita Lakshmi Mataji, 1 second. So this is a very important learning from this section, that first thing is Krishna is telling Arjun, first you should know that you are the eternal spirit soul. And right now we are having a humanly experience or a bodily experience. Normally हम बोलते हैं कि मेरे अंदर आत्मा है, but actually that is not the correct statement. Correct statement is I am Atma, I am a spirit soul, and I am living within the body. मैं शरीर में रह रही हूँ. So I am a spirit soul and we are having a bodily experience right now. And so Krishna is telling that of the non-permanent appearance of happiness and distress and their disappearance in due course are like the appearance and disappearance of winter and summer seasons. तो जिस तरह की मटेरियल वर्ल्ड में हम देखते हैं हर चीज कितना टेम्पररी है, अपने अपने टाइम पे आता जाता है, अलग अलग सीजन, राइट. समर आएगा, समर सीजन के बाद विंटर आएगा, उसके बाद रेनी आएगा. Nobody has a control over it. There is a supreme controller who is controlling everything, and it is happening under the supreme guidance and supreme control. We don't have control over it. So what is the best thing that Krishna is telling us? ऐसे situation में you must learn to just tolerate them without being disturbed. So अगर ठंडी आ गई बहुत ज्यादा और मुझे ठंडी अच्छा नहीं लगता है, तो मैं unnecessarily disturb होने से अच्छा I just have to understand कि okay, this is going to be there for next 2-3 months. Let me just be prepared with it, ना. अगर ठंडी आने वाली है मुझे मालूम है and I cannot bear cold, let me be prepared even when I know that the time has come. So just be prepared beforehand only. We should not get disturbed. We should learn to tolerate. We should learn whatever we can do, we should do. Whatever is not in our hands, we just have to accept, tolerate, and without being disturbed. So this is one thing that Krishna teaches us, because the body with the material world and the matter, or this body which is made of matter, there will be changes, there will be appearance of happiness and distress, there will be different times, good time, bad time, right? So we just have to learn to tolerate them without being disturbed. Yes, we continue next text 50.
O best among men, Arjuna, the person who is not disturbed by happiness and distress and is steady in both is certainly eligible for liberation.
Yeah. So it is a very important message Krishna is giving us, that who is the person who is eligible for liberation? One who is steady in both. Both means both happiness and distress. So who can be steady in both happiness and distress, and how can we be steady in both happiness and distress? Is it possible?
A person who is equipoised, he is not too happy when good things happen, and he attributes everything to Krishna. All good things happening is because of Krishna, and all bad things happening is because of my karma I have to live with.
Yes, with this knowledge, this understanding is very, very important. So only a person who is aware that I am a spirit soul, and who is spiritually, who is connected with the Supreme, who is daily practicing and connecting with the Supreme, and who is getting knowledge, who has the knowledge about the karma, about this material creation, about the spiritual, about the spirit soul, who has all this knowledge, only that person can can remain steady. Otherwise it is not possible. Generally people talk about positivity, and people talk about we should stay positive, be positive, दुख आया तो भी पॉजिटिव रहो. पर कैसे पॉजिटिव रहे जब तकलीफ आ रहा है, बहुत ज्यादा कोई बहुत बड़ी बीमारी हो गई, हम कैसे पॉजिटिव रह सकते हैं उस समय, right? So only that person can be positive who knows the truth, who knows the reality, who knows the spiritual value, who knows the Supreme Lord, who is connected with the Supreme Lord. Only that person can be steady, actually steady in both happiness and distress. And that person is also eligible for liberation. Because generally जब तकलीफें आती हैं तो हम क्या करते हैं, general mass of people, they lose hope, they give up, or they tend to do some sinful, because they don't know what is right and wrong. तो वो लोग खाली अपने situation को fix करने के लिए sometimes they also end up doing something wrong, which further leads to further complication in life. और भी life में और भी complication बढ़ा देता है उनके, right? लेकिन जो व्यक्ति को मालूम है कि ये happiness और distress मेरे destiny में जैसा लिखा है, जितना लिखा है, सुख और दुख वो अपने टाइम से आएगा जाएगा. I just have to tolerate, accept, continue my daily duties, routine जो है मेरा, my duties towards the Supreme, my duties towards my family and the society. So जिस व्यक्ति को ये सारा knowledge है और वो connected है भगवान से, वही व्यक्ति समझकर, at this time, at such times, he can explain, he can understand, and he can be steady. So that is why it is very, very important to awaken our spiritual self. Spiritually strong होना बहुत जरूरी है. इसीलिए even to live our material life peacefully, we have to become spiritually strong. Because if we are not spiritually strong, it is very easy to break when things are not going right or not proper, या जब अच्छा समय नहीं चल रहा है तो हम बहुत easily break कर लेंगे, या डिप्रेशन में चले जाएंगे, एंजाइटी होगी, फेथ लूज हो जाएगा. सो इसीलिए हमें स्पिरिचुअली स्ट्रांग होना बहुत जरूरी है. ओके, नेक्स्ट 5 वर्सेस. अनुराधा माता जी, आपको रीड करना.
Yes, Mataji. Those who are seers of the truth have concluded that of the non-existent, the material body, there is not endurance, and of the eternal, the soul, there is no change. This they have concluded by studying the nature of both, the which pervades the entire body. You should know to be indestructible. No one is able to destroy that imperishable soul. The material body of the indestructible, immeasurable, and eternal living entity is sure to come to an end. Therefore, fight, O descendant of Bharata. Neither he who thinks the living entity the slayer, nor he who thinks it slain is in knowledge. For the self slays nor is slain. For the soul, there is neither birth nor death at any time. He has not come into being, does not come into being, and will not come into being. He is unborn, eternal, ever existing, and primeval. He is not slain when the body is slain.
Yeah, so Lord Krishna is giving the difference between matter and spirit. Normally, we don't want things to end. We don't want to lose our loved ones. We don't want to lose anything. We want to live forever. We don't want to die. Right? ये सब हमारे अंदर ये हम सब चाहते हैं. We don't want to fall sick. We like to be always healthy, happy, and always active. लेकिन ये जो सारे symptoms है ना, happiness, active, being active, always happy, ये सारे symptoms soul का है. Because the soul is Sat Chit and Anand. Soul is eternal. Soul is always blissful. Soul is all knowledgeable. And that is why we have this desire that we don't want to die. We don't want to lose. We want to always live forever, happy. Right? But the problem is, ये सारा expectation हम शरीर के साथ करते हैं या इस material world के साथ करते हैं, जो कि possible नहीं है. Material world is something different. Soul is something different. और ये जो इटर्निटी है, ब्लिस है, हैप्पीनेस है, ये सोल के साथ ये सोल के रिलेशन में है. और मैटर जो है, मैटर हैज अ बिगिनिंग एंड मैटर हैज एन एंड. मैटर इज मेड ऑफ डुअलिटी. देयर इज ऑलवेज हैप्पीनेस एंड डिस्ट्रेस. देयर इज ऑलवेज कॉन्ट्रास्ट मटेरियल वर्ल्ड में. और हर चीज का बिगिनिंग एंड एंड है. तो जैसे ये शरीर, वी टेक बर्थ, वी ऑल्सो डाई. व्हेन आई से वी मीन्स दिस बॉडी. ये बॉडी का बिगिनिंग है, एंड भी है. सो अगर इफ आई थिंक आई एम दिस बॉडी एंड देन आई थिंक दैट आई शुड लिव फॉरएवर, आई शुड नॉट डाई, आई शुड नॉट फॉल सिक, देन दैट इज नॉट पॉसिबल. और वही हमारा प्रॉब्लम है. वी आर स्पिरिचुअल बीइंग्स एंड दैट इज व्हाई आवर एक्सपेक्टेशन इज करेक्ट, दैट वी वांट टू बी ऑलवेज हैप्पी, हेल्दी एंड ऑलवेज ब्लिसफुल, नेवर डाई. बट हम एक्सपेक्टेशन शरीर से करते हैं वही चीज का. और शरीर का तो चेंजेस होना चेंजेस होते ही रहने वाला है. बिकॉज दैट इज द नेचर ऑफ द मटेरियल वर्ल्ड, दैट इज नेचर ऑफ दिस मटेरियल बॉडी. तो बॉडी में जैसे बचपन से अभी तक भी कितने चेंजेस आए हैं. वी हैड अ स्मॉल बॉडी, बेबी बॉडी, देन अ स्मॉल यंग चाइल्ड्स बॉडी, देन अ यंग अडल्ट्स बॉडी, and it is going on changing. And further also we will get old body. Then one day we have to give up this body and we go to another body. Right? So Lord Krishna is saying that there is no endurance. जिस चीज ये material body जो है वो कभी भी same नहीं रहेगा. There is no permanent existence of this material body. It is going to change. It is going to get over someday. Even this material world has a time limit. But the soul is eternal. The soul never changes. The soul is indestructible. Soul is immeasurable, and the soul is always blissful. It is always in knowledge. So what we are looking for is actually the spiritual happiness, but we are looking it in the material world. That is where the problem lies. Okay, next 5, 21st to 25th. Jaya Mataji, you want to read? Or Leena Mataji, you want to read? Anyone?
Yeah, Mataji, I'll read.
Mataji, I'm reading.
Okay. Jai
Tanuja
Mata.
Mamta Mataji, I read.
Okay, so Leena, you can read from 25 to 30.
Sure.
Yeah. Please continue, Jaya Mataji.
Acha, 21st, no?
Yeah. Are you reading? We can't hear you. We can't hear you, Jaya Mataji. Are you reading?
Yeah, 1 minute. 1 minute. Huh? I'm reading. Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you
hear you? Please start again. Can't hear you.
Hello, Mataji.
Yeah.
You hear me?
No.
1 minute.
Okay. Till the time you fix your mic, maybe I will read these 5.
I'm not mute.
Jaya Mataji, maybe you can read later
As a
on
person?
so that we save time. I'll just continue reading.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
Text 21.
Yeah,
O
okay.
Partha, how can a person who knows that the soul is indestructible, eternal, unborn, and immutable kill anyone or cause anyone to kill? As a person puts on new garments, giving up the old ones, the soul similarly accepts new material bodies, giving up the old and useless ones. So Krishna is teaching us here the reincarnation that happens. So what is happening? We take one body and then we live in that body for the certain period of time. Then we give up that body and take another body. Just as एक नया गारमेंट हम पहनते हैं और फिर वो जब पुराना हो जाता है तो हम उसे निकाल कर फिर हम नया लेते हैं, न्यू गारमेंट लेते हैं. तो उसी तरह से ये बॉडी को भी हम एक बॉडी लेते हैं, then we live in that body, and then when it becomes old and useless, we give up that body and we take another body. The soul can never be cut to pieces by any weapon, nor burned by fire, nor moistened by water, nor withered by the wind. तो वो हर तरीके से जैसे कि बॉडी खत्म हो सकता है या मर सकता है, but the soul can never die. Even when somebody dies because of some कोई वेपन से अगर किसी का डेथ हो गया तो भी वो बॉडी का डेथ हुआ है, सोल का नहीं. सोल कैन नेवर बी कट इनटू पीसेस. अगर किसी का फायर में जल के डेथ हुआ है तो भी बॉडी का डेथ हुआ है. सोल कैन नेवर गेट बर्न्ड बाय फायर. अगर कोई पानी में डूबकर मर गया है तो भी वो बॉडी का डेथ हुआ है, सोल का नहीं. सोल कैन नेवर बी मॉइस्चर्ड बाय वाटर. और अगर कोई बहुत बड़ा विंड, बिकॉज ऑफ स्ट्रॉन्ग विंड somebody dies, then also it is the death of the body and not the soul. So soul is indestructible, unbreakable, immutable. Okay, we'll see 24. This individual soul is unbreakable and insoluble, can neither be burnt nor dried. He is everlasting, present everywhere, unchangeable, immovable, and eternally the same. तो सोल का ये सारा कैरेक्टरिस्टिक है. सोल कभी चेंज नहीं होता, सोल का कोई डिस्ट्रक्शन नहीं होता. इट इज इटर्नली द सेम. उसका जो पोजीशन है वो हमेशा सेम रहता है, वो कभी चेंज नहीं होता. Normally in this material world, when we see the changes, right, we see people change, relationships change, है ना. इसीलिए हम फिर ये भी हो जाते हैं. We get frustrated with relationships. We get really annoyed with things because people change their opinions, they change their, अगर उन्होंने कुछ वादा भी किया, promise भी किया है, they may just back up. मतलब they will just say that okay, I never said that thing. So this happens in the material world, but actually the soul The soul is actually it is eternally the same, it never changes, it is completely pure, it is immovable, etc. So text 25, it is said that the soul is invisible, inconceivable, and immutable. Knowing this, you should not grieve for the body. Okay, text 26 to 30th. Leena Mataji, you read.
Yeah, Mataji, Hare Krishna. If, however, you think that the soul or the symptoms of life will always be born and die forever, you still have no reason to lament, O mighty arm. One who has taken his birth is sure to die, and after death, one is sure to take birth again. Therefore, in the unavoidable discharge of your duty, you should not lament. All created beings are unmanifest in their beginning, manifest in their interim state, and unmanifest again when annihilated. So, what need is there for lamentation? Some look on the soul as amazing, some describe him as amazing, and some hear of him as amazing, while others, even after hearing about him, cannot understand him at all. O descendant of Bharata, he who dwells in the body can never be slain. Therefore, you need not grieve for any living being. Hare Krishna.
So in this, Krishna is saying that since we are spirit souls, और हमारा कभी मृत्यु होने ही नहीं वाला है, we are always existing, eternally existing. So what is the need to cry over something जो we are naturally going to lose? मतलब body का beginning है और end भी है, वो तो होने ही वाला है, तो उसके लिए क्यों रोना? तो जो material world का जो nature है, it is going to work according to its nature. We should not be bewildered by that. And how will we be not bewildered by that? Only when we are very much convinced about this fact that we are actually spirit souls. Hum spirit soul hai and we never die. We are going to exist eternally. We are existing now. We existed even in the past, and we are going to exist even in the future. ऐसा नहीं कि हम खत्म हो जाएंगे या हम after death there is nothing, there is just void. ऐसा नहीं है. So that is exactly what Krishna is trying to tell Arjun. Okay, text 31 to 35. Neetu, you want to read 31 to 35?
Yeah, but you remember Jayaji, she wanted to read, but then you told her, fix your mic. Just ask her. If she wants to, otherwise I'll continue.
Okay. Jaya Mataji, do you want to read? Aapka ho gaya? Mic ठीक हो गया?
She's on mute.
Jaya Mataji?
Hear me?
Yeah, you want
Can
to
you
read
hear
now?
me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah. Read text 31, right?
Ha.
Considering your specific duty as a Kshatriya, you should know that there is no better engagement for you than fighting on the religious principles, and so there is no true. O Partha, happy are the Kshatriyas to whom such fighting opportunities come unsought, opening for them the doors of the heavenly planets. If, however, you do not perform your religious duty of fighting, then you will certainly incur sins for neglecting your duties and thus lose your reputation as a fighter. People will always speak of your infamy, and for a respectable person, dishonor is worse than death. The great generals who have highly esteemed your name and fame will think that you have left the battlefield out of fear only, and thus they will consider you insignificant.
Yeah. So these the next 5 verses जो है Krishna is telling Arjuna about the karma yoga basically. So इसके पहले उन्होंने जो भी knowledge दिया about the soul and matter, difference between the soul and the matter. So he is giving that knowledge, and then in order to realize ourselves as a spirit soul, we have to do some karma on the bodily platform also, right? Because the fact is that yes, we are spirit souls, but right now we are living in a body. हम एक material world में रह रहे हैं और material body है. So we have to do something. We have to act. We have to do some karma with the body also in order to realize the self. Okay, in order to realize the spirit soul, we have to do certain karma on the bodily level that will help us to to get self-realized, basically, to know our spiritual identity. So for that also we need to understand what is my duty in this world, इस world में भी मुझे कैसे कर्म करने चाहिए, मेरा duty क्या है. So for that reason, Krishna has made the 4 varnashram system, the varnashram dharma, 4 varnas and 4 ashram. So he's telling Arjun that you are a Kshatriya, you are in a Kshatriya body. Although you are a spirit soul, but you are in a Kshatriya body. So you should know that as a Kshatriya, it is a duty to fight for the religious cause. So you should not run away or leave the fight, but rather you should think that this is a great opportunity for you, that एक religious cause के लिए ये fight हो रहा है. ये खाली ये जो war है सिर्फ बदले का नहीं है या दुश्मनी का war नहीं है ये. This is a fight for religious cause. So you should take this opportunity and fight. Okay, the next 36th to 40th.
Yeah. I'll start.
Yeah, Neetu.
Your enemies will describe you in many unkind words and scorn your ability. What could be more painful for you? O son of Kunti, either you will be killed on the battlefield and attain the heavenly planets, or you will conquer and enjoy the earthly kingdom. Therefore, get up with determination and fight. Do thou fight for the sake of fighting, without considering happiness or distress, loss or gain, victory or defeat, and by so doing, you shall never incur sin. Thus far, I have described this knowledge to you through analytical study. Now listen, as I explain it in terms of working without fruitive results. O son of Prath, or it's Parth, what is it?
This is Pritha, O son of Pritha.
Pritha.
Pritha is another name of Kunti Maharani, who is Pandava's mother. Pritha,
Okay.
O son of
Okay.
Pritha.
Okay, O son of Pritha, when you act in such knowledge, you can free yourself from the bondage of works. In this endeavor, there is no loss or diminution, and a little advancement on this path can protect one from the most dangerous type of fear.
Yeah. So Krishna is acting like a perfect counselor and a perfect guru. You know, when we seek someone's suggestion or help, or we counsel when we go to someone for counseling, we need some counsel. So Krishna is acting here as a perfect counselor. He is enthusing Arjuna. He's telling him, come on, get up with determination and fight. But how he is asking him to do the action? According to his duties as a Kshatriya. So we all have certain duties on the bodily level also. Depending on which varna and which ashram we belong, we have certain duties. Okay, so whether things are going good or bad, whether things are whether it is a happy time or a sad time for us, we should know what is my duty, and we should do that duty without getting carried away by the difficulties or any bad time that comes in our life. So we should know our duties both on the bodily level, in which varna and ashram we belong to, that duty, as well as our sanatan dharma ka duty, our eternal duty. Ye dono duty we should do irrespective whether it is a good time or bad time, and for that we need determination. So Krishna is also telling Arjun that get up with determination and fight, do your duty. All right, 41st to 45th. Sujata Mataji, maybe you can read.
Yes, Mother. Those who are on this path are resolute in purpose, and their aim is one. O beloved child of the Kurus, the intelligence of those who are irresolute is many-branched. Men of small knowledge are very much attached to the flowery words of the Vedas, which recommend various fruitive activities for elevation to heavenly planets, resultant good birth, power, and so forth. Being desirous of sense gratification and opulent life, they say that there is nothing more than this. In the minds of those who are too attached to sense enjoyment and material opulence, and who are bewildered by such things, the resolute determination for devotional service to the Supreme Lord does not take place. The Vedas deal mainly with the subject of 3 modes of material nature. O Arjuna, Become transcendental to these three modes. Be free from all dualities and from all anxieties for gain and safety, and be established in the self.
Yes. So Krishna is telling all of us, this is a message for all of us. Bhagavad Gita is spoken for all of us. It's just that he made Arjuna the medium. So making Arjuna as a medium, Krishna is telling us to do our duties with determination and not to get carried away by the flowery words of the Vedas. So generally, most of the people actually, they don't even follow the Vedas. People don't even know that there are scriptures. They don't follow any scriptures. Okay, but even though some of those who are following the scriptures, वो लोग क्या फॉलो कर रहे हैं? द कर्म कांड सेक्शन ऑफ द वेदास, वो सेक्शन को फॉलो कर रहे हैं जिसमें कि कुछ करने के बाद हमें क्या लाभ होगा, व्हाट आई विल गेन फ्रॉम इट, व्हाट मटेरियल बेनिफिट आई विल गेट, वो सेक्शन को वो लोग फॉलो कर रहे हैं वेदास के, right? How I can get good birth, how I can get power in the world, how I can get wealth, how I can get beauty, how I can get good children, good husband, good wife, etc. So this is known as karma kanda, or the fruitive section of the Vedas. And Krishna is saying only men of small knowledge, they are attracted to such flowery words of the Vedas. Because only those people who think I am this body and this world is all in all, only they will run after such material accomplishments in life.
Mataji, one question.
Yeah.
One question. So the Vedas are made from a karmakand perspective to meet or to cater to the three modes of material nature for different sort of people.
Yes.
That is the reason that the Vedas, मतलब कि कर्मकांडी है या फ्रूटिव रिजल्ट्स के लिए कि आप ये करो तो लाइक आपने बोला कि अच्छा पति मिलेगा, ये मतलब शिव का वो करो, आराधना करो तो आपको अच्छा पति मिल.
Right.
I'll connect later. एक मिनट माताजी. You continue. I'll connect later.
So yeah, please remember your question and you can ask.
Yes,
later.
yes.
Yeah. So so Krishna is also saying that we must not get attracted to such flowery words of the Vedas, but actually Vedas is vast. Vedas means a book of knowledge, and ऐसे बहुत से Vedas means the Puranas, the Upanishads, everything come in this in the Vedic scripture. So we should try to understand the essence of all the Vedas, which is Srimad Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita. Okay. So the essence of all the scriptures is to know our real identity, to know who is God, and to know what is our relationship with God. Why do we exist? Why am I here? How is this material world made? Ye jo sare questions hai na, this is actually the real essence of the scripture. This is what we should be asking and what we should be looking for when we are studying the scriptures. But majority of the people, they generally, those who are religious and they follow the Vedic lifestyle, they generally are fruitive workers, meaning वो लोग अगर कुछ करेंगे भी तो उसके बदले में they want something material. Some material happiness they are looking for, जिसके लिए वो लोग scriptures को follow करते हैं. But Krishna is telling us we have to rise above the three modes, right? We have to do such type of karma जिससे कि हम सारे कर्म के बंधन से बाहर निकले, ना कि उसमें और फंसते जाएं. Because as long as we are trying to find some material opulence or material happiness in this world, we will remain in the material world. No doubt, अगर आप follow करोगे Vedic scriptures in order to get heavenly planet or good birth power, we will get it. क्योंकि आप Vedic scriptures को follow कर रहे हो और वो सारे कर्म कर रहे हो जिससे कि आपको मिलेगा, तो मिलेगा आपको, लेकिन उसका रिजल्ट क्या होगा? We will remain in the material world, we will keep getting different bodies. और and definitely जब हम कुछ कर्म कर रहे हैं तो अच्छे के साथ बुरा भी अपने आप होता ही है, right? For example, अगर आप चल के किसी को दान देने जा रहे हो तो दान देना is a good कर्मा, लेकिन जब आप चल रहे हो तो आपके पैरों के नीचे कितने सारे जो कीटाणु है या इंसेक्ट्स हैं वो मर रहे हैं, तो उसका भी तो रिजल्ट हमें भुगतना होगा. So in this material world there is no pure good karma or pure bad karma. There is always a mixture of good and bad. even when we intend to do something good, bad अपने आप unknowingly हो जाता है, right? So if you simply think that I just want to live happily in this material world, it is a wrong choice, because in this material world there can be no complete peace, real peace or happiness, because good and bad लगा ही रहेगा, good karma, bad karma, और जब तक हम good and bad karma में फंसे रहेंगे तब तक good का good भी मिलेगा लेकिन bad karma का भी result हमें मिलता ही है. इसीलिए अच्छा बुरा लगा ही रहेगा in this material world. And वो जो soul का जो seeking है, the soul needs permanent happiness, the soul wants to live forever happily in bliss, without any, the soul never wants to die. तो ये जो हमारा seeking है वो हमेशा ही रहेगा, which we will never get in the material world, because material world में we will always face birth and death, disease, old age, birth, death, ये लगा ही रहेगा. So Krishna tells Arjuna to rise above the three modes. You have to become situated in the self. You have to become self-realized. Human form of life हमें मिला है to understand everything, to become self-realized and not to just remain bound in the cycle of karma. Then 46th, all purposes served by a small well can at once be served by a great reservoir of water. Similarly, all the purposes of the Vedas can be served to one who knows the purpose behind them. तो ये जो analogy दिया गया है कि अगर suppose एक छोटा सा well है और एक बड़ा reservoir of water है, ocean ले लो, तो जो काम एक well से हम करते हैं, जैसे एक well के पानी से हम पानी पी सकते हैं, कपड़े धो सकते हैं, नहा सकते हैं, हम अपना खाना बना सकते हैं पानी से, राइट? लेकिन वो सारे पर्पस जो एक ग्रेट रेजर्वॉयर ऑफ वाटर, अगर सपोज एक बहुत बड़ा नदी है तो वो नदी का जो उस नदी से भी हम वो सारा काम कर सकते हैं जो एक छोटा सा वेल के पानी से हम करते हैं, राइट? तो एग्जैक्टली इसका जो एनालॉजी दिया है कि वो व्यक्ति who knows the essence of all the Vedas, who knows the purpose behind them, for him all the purposes of the Vedas can be served. Matlab, that person who knows the essence of the Vedas and he is acting according to that, he has served the purpose of all other Vedas. मतलब उसको सारे वेदों का ज्ञान है, जिसको एसेंस मालूम है उसको सारा ज्ञान है. लेकिन अगर कोई खाली एक ही पोर्शन को उठाकर अपने सेल्फिश डिजायर्स को खाली फुलफिल करने के लिए कोई वैदिक स्क्रिप्चर फॉलो करता है, he may not have complete knowledge, he may not have the right knowledge also, and he will remain bound in the karmic cycle. But one who knows the essence, he knows he knows all the Vedas actually perfectly. So the essence of all the scriptures is Bhagwadgita and Srimad Bhagavatam. Srimad Bhagavatam is the cream of the Vedic literature. सारा जो पूरे even in Bhagavad Gita, what does Lord Krishna say? वेदैश्च सर्वैर अहम एव वेद्यो. सारे वेदों को रीड करने के बाद actually the purpose of all the Vedas is to find Krishna, is to know Krishna. Krishna को जानना is the essence of all the scriptures. And Srimad Bhagavatam is that book which talks about Krishna, which gives us a knowledge of Krishna, which gives us knowledge about how we can approach Krishna, how we can serve Krishna. That is Srimad Bhagavatam. And Bhagavad Gita is spoken by Krishna himself, the Supreme Personality. Actually जिनको जानना है सारे वेदों के द्वारा, वही person ने Bhagavad Gita बोली है. So naturally Bhagavad Gita has to be the essence of all the scriptures. Then we read the text 47. You have the right to perform your prescribed duty, but you are not entitled to the fruits of action. Never consider yourself the cause of the results of your activities, and never be attached to not doing your duty. We will just read this verse because, one second, let me see how big it's. Small.
Yeah,
so
we have not read this verse.
Yeah, this is a very important verse. This talks about the निष्काम कर्म, कि कैसे हमें अपने ड्यूटीज को करने हैं. फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल इज knowing who we are. Second point is, okay, knowing that I am a soul, but right now I'm in the body, and becoming self-realized is the goal of life. But now, what kind of action I have to perform according to my varna and ashram? जिस वर्ण और आश्रम में मैं belong करती हूँ, उसका duties क्या है? Knowing the duties, I should act. Now, third step is, yes, we have to perform our duties, but how? किस तरह से हमें करना है? without any expectation of good or bad. भले उसका जो मैं अपना ड्यूटी कर रही हूँ उसके बदले में मुझे अच्छा मिल रहा है या बुरा हो रहा है, it doesn't matter. It is my duty and I have to do it. So this is निष्काम कर्म जो भगवान हमें बता रहे हैं यहाँ पे. So let's read this Bhagavad Gita 2.47. कर्मण्येवाधिकारस्ते मा फलेषु कदाचन मा कर्म फल हेतुर्भूर् मा ते संगोस्त्व कर्मणि. Sujata Mataji, you want to read this?
Yes, ma'am. Karmani, in prescribed duties. Eva, certainly. Adhikara, right. Te, of you. Ma, never. Phaleshu, in the fruits. Kadachana, at any time. Ma, never. Karma phala, in the result of the work. Hetu, cause. Bhu, become. Ma, never. Te, of you. Sangha, attachment. Astu, there should be. Akarmani is not doing prescribed duties. You have a right to perform your prescribed duty, but you are not entitled to the fruits of action. Never consider yourself the cause of the results of your activities, and never be attached to not doing your duty. Purport. There are three considerations here: prescribed duties, capricious work, and inaction. Prescribed duties are activities enjoined in the terms of one's acquired modes of material nature. Capricious work means actions without the sanction of authority, and inaction means not performing one's prescribed duties. The Lord advised that Arjuna not to be inactive, but that he perform his prescribed duty without being attached to the result. One who is attached to the result of his work is also the cause of the action. Thus, he is the enjoyer, or sufferer of the result of such actions. As far as prescribed duties are concerned, they can be fitted into three subdivisions, namely routine work, emergency work, and desired activities. Routine work performed as an obligation in terms of the spiritual injunctions without desire for results is action in the mode of goodness. Work with results become the cause of bondage. Therefore, such work is not auspicious. Everyone has his proprietary right in regard to prescribed duties, but should act without attachment to the result. Such disinterested obligatory duties doubtlessly lead one to the path of liberation. Arjuna was therefore advised by the Lord to fight as a matter of duty without attachment to the result. His non-participation in the battle is another side of attachment. Such attachment never leads one to the path of salvation. Any attachment, positive or negative, is cause for bondage. Inaction is sinful. Therefore, fighting as a matter of duty was the only auspicious path of salvation for Arjuna.
Yeah.
Right.
Hare Krishna. So this is a very deep topic on karma actually. What is action? What is inaction? What is vikarma? What is karma, akarma, and vikarma? So Lord Krishna is saying that we have to first understand where we belong to, which varna, which ashram, and we should know what is our prescribed duty. Matlab, for example, if we are a grihastha and we are a brahmana, so as a brahmanical grihastha, as a grihastha who is a brahmana, what is our duty? As a grihastha who is a vaishya, as a grihastha who is a kshatriya, as a grihastha who is shudra, so what is the duty? Right? Or grihastha nahi hai to sannyasi hai, brahmachari hai, vanaprastha hai. So whichever varna or whichever ashram we belong to, we should know what are our duties according to that varna and ashram. And then secondly, when we are doing our duties, we should do it as a matter of duty, not attached to the result. For example, here Arjun was attached to the result of the war. As a Kshatriya, it was his duty to fight the war, because war uske liye kyun duty tha uske liye fight karna? Because he was being challenged by the opposite party. For a king, agar suppose uska dushman usko challenge karta hai fight karne ke liye, and if this fight is for the right cause, for the religious purpose, then it is a duty of the king to fight that war actually. और यहाँ पे लेकिन Arjun does not want to fight. He wants to give up the fight. So that means he is not willing to perform his duty, which is known as inaction, not performing one's prescribed duties. So Srila Prabhupada tells us that whether any kind of attachment, positive or negative, is a cause for bondage. अगर हम अपने prescribed duty को भी नहीं करते हैं, that means we are doing sin. हम पाप कर रहे हैं. तो पाप का मतलब क्या है? पाप का मतलब वो है जो हम शास्त्र के हिसाब से जो हम नहीं करते हैं, वो पाप है. So sin doesn't only mean that grossly अगर हमने किसी का हत्या कर दिया या कोई गलत काम कर दिया उसी को पाप बोलते हैं, ऐसा नहीं है. पाप means any work which we are doing against the scripture is a sin. So even inaction is a sin. Suppose मेरा कोई ड्यूटी है और अगर मैं वो ड्यूटी नहीं करती हूँ तो वो भी एक पाप है. Yeah, so Krishna is saying that you have a right to perform your prescribed duty, but you are not entitled to the fruits of action. So we have to do our duty, but we are not entitled to the fruits, whether good or bad. It is we should not consider that. We should just understand or know what is our duty, and we must do that duty, not being attached to the result. So
Mataji, this capricious work means action without sanction of authority.
Yeah, that means
Could be an example.
Going against the scriptures, vikarma or पाप, जिसको हम हिंदी में पाप कहते हैं.
So it is not sanctioned by the authority, so it is considered wrong.
Yes. Yes. Inaction means not doing our prescribed duty. And prescribed duty or karma means that which is given, that which is mentioned in the Shastra according to a particular mode of nature. Right?
So Mataji, akarma is inaction?
So akarma has two meaning. Here जो akarma या inaction बताया जा रहा है, वो मतलब यहाँ पर जो inaction है वो मतलब है कि मैं अपना ड्यूटी नहीं करना चाहती हूँ. जैसे अर्जुन नहीं करना चाहते ना, क्षत्रिय का जो ड्यूटी है फाइट करना, he does not want to do that. So that is inaction for Arjun. But
karma is
another akarma, एक दूसरा टर्म है अकर्मा जो डिवोशनल सर्विस को बोला जाता है. भक्ति को भी अकर्मा कहा जाता है. And that akarma means that karma which does not give us either good or bad result. It liberates us. So that karma which liberates us is akarma. But यहाँ पे जो inaction बताया गया है ये इसका मतलब है कि अगर हम अपने prescribed duty को जो नहीं करते हैं, that inaction, that is what is being spoken about over here. Is that okay, Shilpa Mataji?
Yes, Mataji. And karma is prescribed duties?
According to the Shastra, according to scriptures, according to our acquired mode of nature, material nature. Acquired mode of material nature matlab Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. A Brahman is more in the mode of goodness. A Kshatriya is more in the mode of goodness and passion both. A Vaishya is more in the mode of passion. And a Shudra is more in the mode of ignorance. So according to our acquired mode of material nature, हमारा जो ड्यूटी है वो शास्त्र के हिसाब से करना is a prescribed duty, is what is karma. So in short, Krishna is telling us that we should know what is our duty, prescribed duty. We should know our real identity and we should do our duty without attachment. निष्काम भाव से हमें अपने कर्म करने चाहिए.
Mataji, vikarma is capricious work, is it?
Yes, capricious work or papa or vikarma is the same.
And akarma is when you are not thinking of the results. When you're doing a karma without thinking about the positive or negative.
See, akarma दो meaning है akarma का. The real meaning of akarma is one which does not give us good or bad result. Which does not give. वो कर्म जो हमें good या bad result नहीं देते हैं. लेकिन यहाँ पर in this verse, the inaction जो बताया गया है, वो one who does not do his prescribed duty, that is inaction in this verse. मतलब अर्जुन का example आप याद रखो. That Arjun being a Kshatriya, his duty was to fight, but he did not want to fight. So he was trying to do inaction.
Inaction, which is in this verse akarma.
Which is, in this verse, akarma, inaction means not doing the prescribed duty, which is a sin. But there is another term, akarma, which denotes devotional service. which does not give us good or bad result, but it liberates us.
So, Mataji, here the prescribed duties, you said karma in the mode of goodness. This also attracts further karma, right? Though we are doing our prescribed duties as a grahastha, we have to take care of our family, or kids, or whatever is there. So, if we are not attached to the results, or we are doing our duties as required, but we don't, bete ko kitna marks milega, will he get, not get, you get attached to as if he'll be able to perform well, getting upset,
Right.
or getting, so that adds to further karma. But ensuring that the child studies, does his best, and accepting whatever result that he gets, or whatever, obviously guide him, but not getting too attached
To the result,
to
yes.
the result, or pressurizing, or whatever things that happen. So that results into maybe not vikarma, but additional karma. That is,
That is exactly how Krishna is telling us to do our karma without expecting the result. Do your duty. Yes, as a mother, whatever is needed of you, you should do. But after that, do not expect कि उसका ये result ऐसा ही होना चाहिए. मैं इतना कर रही हूँ, मुझे इतना appreciation मिलना चाहिए. मेरे बेटे को इतना ही marks मिलना चाहिए. No, you do your duty. Your child is doing your duty, and then whatever the result is, just accept it.
Accept it.
That will help you to further grow.
So accepting it as is doing our duty as per scriptures. That's not akarma in the devotional wala jo aap bol rahe ho na. No. Isme bhi,
but this is favorable.
Favorable. Okay, so isi mein fir aap aage go higher in the mode of goodness, and then
yes, absolutely.
Yes.
And you can understand better the goal of life, because अगर हम वो result के पीछे ही लगे रहेंगे तो हमारा mind anyways attached है. So we can never think of higher goals or spiritual goals in our life. We will always remain upset.
So being in this, then naturally will attract you the right people to help you in the Krishna consciousness, basically.
Absolutely. It will also attract Krishna's grace. It attracts the Supreme Lord's grace. When we do our duty without attachment, without expectations, we attract so much of blessings and grace from the Lord.
And capricious work could be in thoughts, words, deeds, right? Matlab, it can be, not be acting. So even a thought, so always have good thoughts rather than, kisi ke against, or,
Absolutely.
Or whatever.
Thoughts, first the thing comes in our thought, then it becomes an action. शुरुआत तो thought से ही होता है.
And inaction is purely sloth, nothing, laziness, not willing to do anything. So that is worse than the first two. But basically that's
the worst thing.
That's the worst thing, right? That's the most sinful. It's criminal. Basically. Yes. So that's more tamasic. Can we consider? That's ignorance. The capricious is more on the rajasic. Can be a combination of both. And prescribed duties without getting attached to fruitive results would be in the sattvic mode.
Absolutely.
Okay?
Yeah.
Thanks.
And what was the question before?
So generally asking, see, you're saying that so the Vedas were written by Vyasadeva to address these three modes of people, so that ultimately they reach Krishna consciousness by doing prescribed duties as mentioned in the Vedas. Suppose I'm very tamasic in nature. Suppose I'm a meat eater, or then hello. Okay. So then maybe in the Vedas it's written that aap Kali ka puja karo, or whatever, which some Shakti ka karo, ya Shiva ka karo, ya something is prescribed. Which then what is the ultimate goal? So if we are saying that Vedas is generally talking of fruitive thing, or it is also talking of Krishna consciousness, and we are not aware of it.
Vedas are also talking of Krishna, no? It is also giving us the essence also. Upanishads especially, the Upanishads part of the Vedas, they talk about the supreme knowledge or supreme truth. But according to the mode of nature that we are in, we will be attracted to a particular
Okay, so then depending of the mode in which we are, so we will take the interpretation in the way we want to suit our material mode. Okay. So if we are in the Rajasic mode, we will try to see what is beneficial from a material perspective and all that.
And only when we are in the mode of goodness will we understand the absolute truth, the supreme truth.
So the necessary guidance comes to you when you are in the mode of goodness. So the idea is to move from Tamasic to Rajasic and then to Sattvic and then finally to
even
the
rise
Bhakti.
above the Sattva. Yeah. So that's the whole purpose. Yes. Anything else? Any question? Anyone else?
Mataji, I had a doubt that when we say that we have to live on the soul platform, now when they are at the time of death, soul leaves the body. Now a body is here, that's the gross body. But with the soul goes the subtle body also, that is mind, intelligence and false ego also travels with the soul. Now does that, so both of them travel together. So the subtle body helps you acquire the next body.
Yes.
Because subtle body, mind and intelligence has the memory of what you did in this birth.
Past life, yeah.
Okay. So it's the same intelligence, mind and false ego enters the new body also.
Yes.
So they are also eternal?
No,
subtle body is also
they are
eternal?
material only. Mind, intelligence, false ego, जो subtle body है, वो भी material है. But it's just that in every life, this subtle body accompanies the soul. We give up the gross body, but the subtle body is the one which remains the same, mind, intelligence, false ego.
So, Mataji, then the subtle body, based on the association, can move from the Tamasic to Rajasic to Sattvic, right?
Yes, it gets purified. Yeah.
So the moment we nullify our karma, then our subtle body does not carry any memories when we can get liberation.
Sorry, I didn't get your question.
So when we do a karma, is when our subtle body will not carry any memory of any good or bad karma.
When we do a karma, our subtle body is getting purified, spiritualized. We have to rise even above the false ego.
So then, Mataji, all the time that every spirituality talks about soul and focus on the soul. Soul is anyway Satchitanand. It is in a good position. Why don't we talk about only the subtle body? Because subtle body is what is getting us to a fall down.
Yes.
So instead of soul, like
Bhagwadgita talks about that. But the beginning is first understanding who we are. Then only we will work on where is the problem. पहले तो हम कौन है वो पता चल जाए, फिर प्रॉब्लम कहाँ पे है वो पता करके उस पे वर्क करना है. तो ये जो पूरा डिवोशनल हमारा जो चैंटिंग, हियरिंग, रीडिंग है, ये सब कुछ हमारे माइंड, इंटेलिजेंस और फॉल्स ईगो को ही प्यूरिफिकेशन कर रहा है, प्यूरिफाई कर रहा है. When we chant, our mind is getting controlled, purified. When we are reading and hearing scriptures, our intelligence is getting purified. When we are understanding who we are, our false ego is getting purified. Are you getting it?
Yes.
The first is understanding who we are, then acting on that, and that action purifies our subtle body.
Mataji, then once the soul leaves the body, does it know that what it has gone, how to purify itself? Does it know that these are the things that it's done wrong, or something, or it just moves into
unless we are spiritually, we have advanced or awakened, the soul is sleeping, and it is just the subtle body mind which has taken over the soul and doing everything, making the soul do everything.
No, but Mataji, jab tak, so who then? Krishna ke mercy se we get that sudden grace or whatever. Matlab, suppose a person is, we've seen so many examples कि एकदम तामसिक है and suddenly उसको एक association मिलता है, like Narada that you explained in the Bhagavatam when you're explaining कि वैश्य का बेटा था and all those things, साधु 3 दिन का सत्संग मिला and then everything changed for him. And there are other things, other examples. Valmiki, he was a dacoit. and Narada comes to him, और फिर again मरा 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 बोल के वो राम राम बोलने लगा. So it's so much in tamasic. They may have done good things in the past, वो नहीं है मैं बोल रही हूँ, but then what triggers for the mind, false ego and intelligence to, you know.
So above the mind, false ego, intelligence, the soul is much more stronger, superior than the subtle body. So when we get a special grace of a devotee or Krishna, the soul awakens. और जब soul जाग जाता है तो वो naturally देख पाता है कि how his mind, intelligence.
but वो mercy कहाँ से आता है माता जी?
Mercy is invisible. It is invisible.
अरे हाँ, but अगर एक person एकदम तामसिक है, तो then मतलब
but mercy.
Why will suddenly Krishna feel कि you know, okay, ये soul को इसको हमको कुछ अरे करना अच्छा है, but I'm not saying.
नहीं mercy, माता जी, mercy correct me if I'm
wrong. Mercy is causeless, माता जी. Mercy is causeless.
Suddenly उसको मन
कोई अच्छा है तो उसी को कृपा मिलेगा.
नहीं वो तो मिलेगा.
इंसान को भी अगर कृपा मिल गया वो अच्छा बन सकता है.
but वो कृपा कहाँ से आता है? मैं वो ही नहीं समझ रही.
बोल रही हूँ, उसका कोई रीजन नहीं है. जैसे श्रीला प्रभुपाद जी, he went to the west और वहां के जो इतने उनको उन्होंने उद्धार किया, तो कोई कारण नहीं है. उसका कोई कारण नहीं क्यों प्रभुपाद जी ने उनका भला किया.
नहीं माता जी, कारण तो है ना कि लास्ट बर्थ में if you have done bhakti and from where you have discontinued, from where you will.
No, my first point is, where did that first instant, whichever thousands or lakhs of lifetimes ago, where did that first thing come? The krupa would have started. अभी तो छोड़ो, अभी उनका past life का बहुत हो गया होगा.
तो जब भी free will use किया होगा ना.
Maybe हाँ नहीं.
Free will when you use.
मतलब वो मैं सोच रही हूँ कि मतलब even we have just started now. मतलब हमारे कितने लाखों जन्मों से हम लोग ने कुछ में भी किया होगा.
There are two ways a person comes into bhakti. One is if on his own he has done acquired some agyat sukriti. कुछ अच्छा किया है, भगवान के लिए कहीं डोनेशन दे दिया, कहीं काउ प्रोटेक्शन के लिए कुछ कर लिया, कहीं किसी डिवोटी को मदद कर लिया. There is like अनजाने में उसने अज्ञात सुकृति कलेक्ट किया है, and one day he starts doing bhakti in one lifetime. Okay. Another way is he has not done anything, most sinful person, but he has got the grace of a pure devotee. तो इसका कोई कारण नहीं है कि वो बंदे ने क्या किया था, ऐसा नहीं. The pure devotee has, out of his own causeless mercy, has given him that grace. This is another way of coming into bhakti. And majority of us, at least me, I am like pure grace ke upar hi I have come into bhakti. I don't think I have done anything good or any bhakti in a previous
No,
life.
Mataji, but then dekho, we don't know how many lifetimes we have been, no, matlab, कितना वो भी कम and अभी ये जन्म में कुछ grace मिला होगा. Whatever. But I'm just saying कि the first lifetime as a, when we know.
Actually, don't think of your previous. Think of this lifetime, that in this lifetime we are getting the grace of Srila Prabhupada. We are all getting grace of Srila Prabhupada. Because अगर प्रभुपाद जी का नहीं होता ना ग्रेस, तो भले ही सपोज हमारा कुछ भी सुकृति होगा भी अगर पास्ट लाइफ का, तो भी it would have taken many more lifetimes to come to bhakti. But just by the grace of a pure devotee Srila Prabhupada, we are able to, you know, वो जो process है पूरा हमारा fast track में आ गया है. इसी lifetime में हमें पूरा essence मिल रहा है, क्या chant करना है, क्या पढ़ना है, कैसे रहना है, सब कुछ हमें पता चल रहा है. It is just by causeless mercy. So don't try to find out कि क्या कारण.
when we are reading, that time it's like यार मतलब कहाँ से? How?
Try to appreciate this mercy. Pure mercy. It is complete sheer mercy. Even नारद मुनि के ऊपर भी तो पूरा mercy ही हुआ ना.
वही
mercy से ही वो आगे बढ़े. So we all need mercy and All right, so thank you everyone. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Next we have understood one thing, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Has to be repeated again.
Hare Krishna. 1 minute. Sujata Mataji, आपने क्या बोला?
I said, basis the number of doubts that came out of the shloka, I think we should rediscuss this in the next class.
Yes, Mataji.
We'll have to recapitulate
again,
this.
Start from 47th onwards. Okay, but one thing that we have to learn from today's class is at least try to do nishkam karma. Do your duty without expecting any result. and then you experience जो आपका experience है वो share करना next class में.
Very difficult to follow, Mataji.
Very difficult, Mataji. That is the entire battlefield.